Hi everyone. In this video, I'll show you how to move a WordPress blog, which is online in a server, to your local machine. Kind of set up a local development environment for your own blog. Basically, one of my colleagues wanted to do this, and he asked me how to do this, and I thought of just making a video and sending it to him. Another thing is I'll keep this as beginner friendly as possible because there are chances that a newbie or a beginner might see this. I'll just show my blog. I thought of showing the blog which we are trying to move here, and um, once it is moved it should just look like this. I didn't blog for a few years and I'm planning to start everything again. So I've launched a WordPress blog this time with a new domain and stuff like that. So we'll do several things in this. So let me just list down the things. So first we have to take the code, which is basically, as you know, WordPress is made using PHP, and we have to take the code from the server, and we have to take the data of the blog, which is which uses MySQL, and WordPress uses MySQL, as you know. And then we have to set up a local machine, that is your own machine or a laptop, and then you have to move the code and the data. Basically place the code and data in a way so that it runs, and you have to install applications like Apache Web Server, MySQL, PHP and stuff like that. So these are the things that we need to do. So let's go to the server and get the code. So my server AWS, so I'll launch my browser and oh, oops, sorry, I need to go to my AWS. I have my whole blog in Azure. I still use my Azure, but still for this one I've used my AWS console. I'm going to go into that, and I'm going to my instance, and I'm going to get my IP address. So here is the IP address. I'm going to put that on a notepad, and I'm going to use MSTSC, and I'm going to paste that IP address, and I'm going to connect it. I hope I thought I had the credentials. I need to take my credentials now. Sorry, I need to mask the passwords and stuff. And so this is my server. I'll go directly to my place where the code is there. So as you can see, I'm just going to delete this. Once again, I'm going to create a zip. Almost done. So I'm going to place it here itself, and I'm just showing that this code is here, and this is basically the WordPress code of my blog. And I have PHP myadmin as well here, which I can basically use to connect to the database in this server, the MySQL running on this server, and I'm going to extract the SQL script, which I'll use to transfer data, get the data transferred to my local machine. So we don't need this server anymore. We don't need this AWS console as well, but I'll just minimize, and I'll just launch a new browser, and I'll just download Ashoka on tech-server.zip. So this should get me the code. So the code is downloading. Probably I need to skip this a little bit. So in this, as I said, I have the PHP myadmin here itself, and I can basically go there and log in. Once I log in, I'm sorry, I think, okay, I've got my username and password. And so you select the database where you're having your WordPress data. So, and you'll go to export, and from here you just click go, and you'll get a download. So this would be your file that you can use to install. Probably we can use this instead of the earlier one we had. It took a little bit long, that's why I didn't download it earlier. Okay, so now what we need to do is, like we were talking, we have taken the code, we have taken the data from the blog, and we need to set up the machine. So we can take the code and the data and set up the machine, my local machine, and we should be able to run the blog in my machine itself, like localhost/blog or whatever it, and it should run. So for this, what we need to do is we need to install a web server, IIS or Apache, install PHP, and we need to install MySQL, all those things. But you can install one of these suites, basically WAMP suite, Windows, Apache, MySQL, and PHP is the full form of this WAMP stack. So there are several options you have, but I'm going to use one thing called AMPs. So I'm going to use AMPPS. So if you go here, this is the tool that I'm talking about. So it installs all the required software to run a PHP MySQL based application, basically in our case. So you just need to download this, and you have to install this. So once you install this, you should be able to quickly copy the code and import the data, and then set up the blog here itself in your local machine. So I've already downloaded this in my hard disk. So as you can see, I've already downloaded this, and I'm going to run this. I'm going to install this stack in my local machine. So I can give C:, instead of program files. As you can see, already I have installed it, and I have now removed everything. There's just configuration and other stuff remaining. So I've uninstalled earlier. Now I'm going to install again. Okay, so it will ask you to install this Visual C++. It's not installing because I already have other versions, more recent versions of this, so you can just ignore that, and you can start the program. By clicking finish, it will I think my IIS is using this port. Probably I'll go and stop my IIS inet manager, and I'll go to this website, and probably I'll stop it, and I'll close this, and I'll just open this and again click here. As you can see, MySQL is already running and Apache is also started. It's basically a feature-rich set of software, I think by a company called Softwareculous. Many hosting companies and other people also use this. Okay, we have done that. The next step is to basically copy the code from this place. I'm just going to cut it, and I'm going to go to that amps folder. Basically, what you need to do is when you install amps, it creates a www folder. You can go there, you can create a sample file, probably test PHP, and edit this. So I'm going to just say, I'm going to save this, I'm going to close this. Now if you just go to, I can just close this. If you just go to localhost /test.php, you'll see the message that you have written in the echo statement. So here is where you need to put your files. So what I'm going to do, I have downloaded the files in this folder in my sorry, I'm used to using keyboard shortcuts, so I'm not using mouse mostly. So I have the files here. I'm copying the file from here, and I'm going to create a folder called blog, and I'm going to place here, and I'm going to extract it. Extract. Okay, so the files are extracted here. We don't need this zip file. I'll just delete this. And what you need to do, what amps does is it sets the root password of the MySQL installation as MySQL, the MySQL. So what happens, we need to go to the configuration and you need to change that. So if you come here, instead of the password that you used in the server, you need to change this to MySQL, and you can create your own user for your own database, but I'm just going to go with root. So we currently don't have a database in our local machine named as this one, but when we run our SQL script by logging into the phpMyAdmin, we should be able to install this database, create this database and install this. So that's it. So I'm going to close, and so as of now it won't run because you need to set up the database. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get phpMyAdmin. There is a version available inside this, but I think it has some configuration related stuff which points to different stuff. The password is fetched from another file, and also I don't want to mess with this one. I'm going to download this. So as you can see, it's downloaded. I'm going to close this. I'm going to go to the folder and I'm going to copy this. Probably I'll cut this, which will be faster. I'll go to this folder. I'll just extract this to PMA. Again, we are having a file copy process. So I'll skip this as well. Okay, it's extracted. Oh, I just need to cut all these files and put it here. Remove is always faster. And delete this folder which we don't need. And where is the configuration? Yeah, I think we need to rename this. Yeah, so everything is like we want. Already the password is just MySQL. Looks like we have an additional code. I removed it. So now we can go to PHP myadmin. Okay, so now it's logged in. So now I'm going to copy the SQL that we have downloaded. So this is the one that we have downloaded. I'm going to open with code and I'm going to Control A, select all and copy everything. And I'm going to go here. This is our local host. I'm going to paste it here and I'm going to click go. Just note here we don't have any databases in our MySQL server which is running in our local machine. So when I hit go, sorry, I think the script expects us to create yeah, I think it expects us to create the database, so probably I'll create the database. Sorry, I missed to do that earlier. So this is created. Now we are in this database. We'll go to the SQL here. We'll again copy this and paste. What happened to the paste? Oh, surprising. So I'll paste it using keyboard and I'm running it. So now we should have there are no errors. So if you go to code smiles, the database, and if you go to the posts, you should see a lot of data. These are the this is what is getting pulled by the blog and shown. So now we can directly go to before going to the blog, there are some few things that we need to change here. So if I go to options, WP options, there are a few things like you need to change this site URL. So as this is not online anymore, you just need to change this to localhost, and it's not HTTPS. You don't need HTTPS in your localhost. And you can just double click here, and you can just double click, select everything and paste it and come out. It will get updated. So why we need to make these changes is because if you visit this URL, localhost URL, without making these updates here, the blog will load. But if you want to go to individual blog posts, and if you click one of the blog posts, it will take you to the online version, the server version. And even if you try to log into your admin section, you will not be able to reach this localhost version. It will automatically redirect to the online URL. So once you make changes here, and you'll be able to view the blog, and you need to go into the admin section, and then you need to make some changes there. I'll show you how to make that. So go to your admin section, provide the username, password. Once you log in, go to settings, permalinks. Now you may be having a different permalink setting. I'm having it as post name, but you may have something else. You just need to change the setting to something other than what you already have. So I'm just going to make it plain, and I'm going to save it. And once again, I need to go and change it to how I want it. So which is post name, and again click save. Doing this will update the local host as the URL in all the places inside WordPress. I think this should be sufficient to run our blog. So going back to our steps, so we have set up the local machine, installed the required software. Basically we have installed just one software and got all the whole suite in our machine. Apache web server, MySQL, PHP, everything is there. And then we have copied the code. The data is imported into our machines, our local machines, MySQL. Now it's time to test whether our website is, our local version of the blog is working. Okay, so we have successfully taken my blog, which is online, to offline, that is not offline, to your local machine. So this is what we have done. So now you can go to your this folder, and you can open this in your code editor and make any changes you want to do. Even though you can make all the changes to your plugin related files and stuff online itself, you may not, you may sometimes prefer to do it offline. So go to your themes folder and make some changes to your themes, and try out everything here, and then make it work online instead of directly doing the changes online and all. So that's it. Hope this helps someone. Thanks.